also want to include on this episode the first Dawn label. And we're not going to do a Roost or a Dawn or a Jubilee every month. I think most of the time we're going to pick one from these labels. But since we're doing the first release of these labels, I wanted to include these records. This is the first Dawn record, number 11,001. And the 11,000 series runs to about 1130. I think they also skip a few numbers. And by the late 1120s, it's mostly compilations of a label that's already kind of gone under. They're just kind of repackaging tracks from different records. And there's probably 4, maybe even 5 Dawn collections that kind of come out consecutively at the end of the sequence. So it's really only 1101 to about 1124 that you gotta really be concerned with. But this is the great Charlie Rouse and Julius Watkins, the jazz modes from 1955-56. There's 4 Jazzville sequence records in that sequence that are usually twofers. And the back side of this one is Gene Quill and the Dick Sherman Quartet, which is also a nice record. But the Rouse and Julius Watkins is what you buy this for. That's great stuff. And great art department at Dawn. Beautiful album covers always. The French horn up there of Watkins. I love Dawn. I've talked about them numerous times lately, so I don't need to go too much in depth into it. Dawn's got some great stuff, starting with this number 1101. Great stuff. Check it out. And then lastly, we're going to cover this as well. The Jubilee label, formed by Herb Abramson, comes on the scene as well in about 55. And Abramson had worked with the Erdogan brothers at Atlantic. He decides to go out on his own. And Jubilee by 1060, 1070, 1080, that part of their discography, they're releasing some heavy hitters. Some really great stuff. Herb Geller's, Jackie McLean's, Ray Draper's. There's another really important artist that I'm not thinking of right now. But there's some really great stuff going on. Randy Weston has a couple and just one. But early on, Jubilee has a lot of Dixieland stuff. This is a college all-star records at Carnegie Hall. So it's pretty anonymous players. Excuse me. It's they glued it together incorrectly. Cool cover. It's number 1001 Jubilee series. And it doesn't even list who the musicians are. So it's obviously just some college kids, all-star group probably, playing at Carnegie Hall. And it was something that Jubilee got the rights to issue. And it's actually not bad. You know, it's not bad. But it's certainly not where Jubilee's going to be in a couple of years by 57. I do enjoy early Jubilee stuff. There's some cool titles in there. And it's stuff I like to find. When I find it, I grab it. Early Jubilee stuff won't cost you much at all. But there's always great players on there. Always. Like I said, this era is just filled with great players. Unlike today's music, where there's thousands of musicians and none of them can play shit. You know, they can push a button on a sampler and they can make a beat loop on a computer, but they can't write a melody to save their fucking life. And the amount of music today that's monotone, where it's just one progression, or sometimes even just one chord. It can be as little as 4 bars that loops through the entire song without a single change anywhere. Change for them is to take the beat out, the drums out for a minute. I got a cat announcing her sexuality to the world, so that should help you enjoy this episode a little extra. You should actually have to pay a little more for the cat moaning. Things that you have to deal with recording episodes in your home. I got a small town with tractors and all kinds of loud motorcycles. I got cats moaning. I got humidity making me sweat profusely. But I love listening to jazz. I love talking about jazz. If you haven't noticed, I like to talk. And you guys are the greatest, man. I love having this community to share with. It's so invigorating. It's so stimulating. It's so rewarding that I can share my passion and find people who value it and want to hear what I'm saying and are interested. Because my kids and my wife only want to hear me talk about jazz so often, you know, and they appreciate the social aspects I talk about and the power of the music, but they don't want to hear me talk about the minutia of Jubilee Records. So that's Jubilee's first record. This is small New York labels like Jubilee, Roost, Dawn. They'll appear in this slot every month, at least one record by these guys. And there'll be a few other small labels that make appearances here as well. But that wraps up this one. You have a good day. Peace.